Thank you for boarding the Good Pod Guide flight GPG 6084. My name's Lauren Windle and I'll be your captain today. We're embarking on a short journey to help you find your next favourite podcast. Don't forget to strap in. So this is a debate that I have had during many a session at the pub. And yes, I still have sessions at the pub, even if I don't drink. Going on big, long pub rants is not something that I need alcohol in order to do, particularly when the topic is, which is better, the UK office or the US office? This is such a multifaceted question. You know, we could really go into this for a long time. What I would say as a broad brush answer is that if we're directly comparing the first seasons, obviously The Office UK, because The Office US just lifted that script and did a worse version of it. But if we're looking at them from season 2 onwards as they progress, we're basically talking about two completely different shows with completely different aims. And, you know, I'd say they're pretty incomparable. But I can say that I'm a huge fan of both. I absolutely love The Office UK. Have probably watched it near to 10 times all the way through and watch it at least once a year from start to finish again. I've also watched the US version once all the way through, and I'm currently halfway through watching it for a second time. I'm also going to take this opportunity to declare my undying love for Jim Halpert. I'm waiting for him to show up at my door, preferably on a horse, to sweep me off my feet. And I just can't wait for that day to come. So I am super happy to be speaking about today's podcast because I am an Office mega fan. And this is the Office Deep Dive with Brian Baumgartner. Brian played Kevin in The Office US, and disappointingly, his real voice is not as slow and dumb, effectively, as you would expect, which did throw me off initially. He does host another podcast called An Oral History of The Office, but I've chosen to look at this one. I was going to combine them, but then I thought, nah, because I might want to talk about The Office again. So I'm just going to keep it in my back pocket. In this podcast, Brian interviews different cast members or members of the team to do the deepest of deep dives into the show. He claims that even the most avid fans will hear things that they've never heard before. And as an avid fan, I can confirm that he does deliver. I enjoy that he asks each actor what they were doing before The Office, because they were all relatively unknown before they were on The Office, obviously other than Steve Carell. So Rainn Wilson, who plays Dwight, he had had a few small parts here and there, like he was creepy guy in Supermarket on CSI. And actually, I didn't know, but he was on 6 Feet Under, which has made me think I might want to go back and rewatch 6 Feet Under. Another story that I loved was the actress who plays Meredith saying, because obviously the character of Meredith flashes quite a lot. And she said that the first time she flashed Steve Carell as part of the show, I think it was after a Christmas party, he said to her, "Don't worry, I'm not looking at them. I'm just going to look at your clavicle," which I thought was quite good. Peak geek trivia for me was when Rainn Wilson was talking about how he first heard of the UK Office and how he was one of the first people in the US to watch it, but also how Mackenzie Crook's Gareth from the UK Office influenced how he played Dwight. So Gareth has this thing where he will say a ridiculous statement completely deadpan without a clue about how it's coming across to the other people around him. And Dwight, or Rainn, lifted that directly from Gareth. But then he also added in the sort of aggression and power hunger that comes with Dwight, which definitely doesn't come with Gareth. At the time of recording this, the Good Pod Guide, there were less than 10 episodes in this podcast, and they were each 30 minutes to an hour long. The Office US is an absolute phenomenon, and I, like a huge number of people, only watched it 5 to 6 years after they finished filming. It is the most viewed show on Netflix, and in 2020 alone, Americans streamed it for more than 57 billion minutes. So there are a lot of Office fans out there, and if you are one of them, I reckon you'll love this. In the next episode, we delve into the dark world of cults as we discuss podcast Heaven's Gate. So who's up for drinking the Kool-Aid with me? You can get more info on the show online at www.goodpodguide.com or follow us at Good Pod Guide on Instagram and Twitter.